Okay, before we jump into the answers, I wanted to apologize for how late I released this. Honestly, it was procrastination and me getting busy, so yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Now on to the answers. So this one would be considered kind of spoilers, but it depends on how I answer it. So shamans can be born with abilities, but let's just say that those abilities sometimes don't come naturally, if that makes sense. It definitely has some kind of supernatural force involved, and I wish I could go into more detail, but I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm gonna stop answering. Oh wow, thank you so much for noticing. So it's better to discuss my editing programs first. I purchased Sunny Vegas Pro 15 right before starting episode 8, and I used to use Sunny Vegas Pro 11, but even then I never really used it as much as I should have. Like, I had it there, but I didn't know how to use it, so I just wouldn't really use it. It wasn't until, like, I looked up several tutorials on YouTube that I finally felt I was able to switch over from Movie Maker to Sunny Vegas, and let me tell you, Movie Maker definitely ruins the quality if you use it a lot, and that did not help with previous episodes. If that's all you got for an editing program, then definitely go for it, but I personally don't recommend using it for too long. As for the animation program, I still use Pencil 2D for the character animations, but I use Metabang Pro for the backgrounds rather than having the background and the character animations on one layer, which was frustrating. I don't know how I managed to do it for that long. So I would say I really just upgraded and used more programs rather than just using two simple ones. Oh, okay, so first I went back and wrote down what Rolo said, because I just wanted to repeat what he said exactly. So he said, our souls aren't like spirit attachments, Briar. You need to be careful with being in the detached zone while conscious. If your soul is weak, the amount of time you stay there could make you weaker until you fade away. I just wanted to point this out because what he said is really important, so I just wanted to point that out before answering the question, so it's all cleared up. But yeah, the difference between a spirit attachment taking over certain body parts when compared to, the whole body, is that if a spirit attachment takes over body parts, the host soul is still in control. So it's less energy taken out. If a spirit attachment takes over the body, the host soul will be put into the detached zone, which is a place meant for mostly spirit attachments, not a normal soul. You could say that one does take a lot more energy, but the bottom line is that Briar's soul is not like Lloyd's, and the detached zone is meant for Lloyd's soul. That's basically what Rolo was trying to explain to Briar, and honestly I wish I could go into more detail with this answer, but I don't want to accidentally spoil something, so I'm gonna stop it there. Oh, yeah, he was being a little sarcastic, but it was sort of him trying to make light of the situation that they're in, because that's how Briar is. Plus, it's one of those things where you know what you're supposed to be, and you suck at it, and that's how Briar sort of feels. So, he's told that Lloyd is a spirit attachment and that he's a host, but he feels like he's not doing a good job at being a host. It's sort of important because Lloyd is trying so hard to be what he's supposed to be, and Briar thinks he has to do the same thing, and it's just... he just feels like by not letting Lloyd take over, he's not being a good host. That moment in the episode with them talking was sort of putting focus on the fact that Briar is a lot more willing to let Lloyd take over after knowing about how Lloyd feels and why he wants to take over. So, in a way, you could say that he was hinting at it, but not considering, surrendering his whole body to Lloyd or anything. Well, as Briar stated in episode 6, he doesn't really remember a time where Lloyd wasn't in his life. Well, he said that he doesn't remember not seeing Lloyd like that, but what it really meant was that he doesn't remember ever not seeing Lloyd in his life. So that would mean that Lloyd has been attached onto Briar for a very long time. Plus, in all of the flashbacks that we've seen, the two of them, they're together as pups and as adolescents, so we can kind of assume that Briar got Lloyd as a pup. Rolo has had Kano for a long time, and we sort of got most of our information about them from the talk they had in episode 7. We find out that Kano is Rolo's uncle, so that would make Kano way older than Rolo. I mean, there are some situations where some uncles aren't much older than their nieces or nephews, but this is a situation where Kano is. So yeah. I know the main question is at, what point in Rolo's life did Kano attach onto him, and honestly, I wish I could answer this, but I don't want to answer it just yet. I'd rather it be a mystery to those who don't know, and I promise it will be revealed in time. I don't want to just leave this question with no answer, but yeah, for Kano and Rolo, it'll be a mystery for now. For Briar, it was sort of a wake-up call. You can hear how he sounds remorseful after seeing Lloyd and hearing about how he stays in the detached zone most of the time, and it's as if seeing that Lloyd has a full body sort of reminded Briar that Lloyd used to actually have a body that was alive at one point, and now he has to share one with Briar, which is... It's really sad, and that's Briar won't, it's not like he regrets seeing Lloyd with a full body, but it is definitely a wake-up call. Well, it can be reassuring to know that Briar will always have someone to watch his back and someone to share personal moments with, especially since there were times in Briar's life where he felt alone, and, Lloyd was always there for him. Then there's the other side of Briar that wonders how it would feel to actually be alone for once, but, they love each other, so it's not like it's a bad thing. Avery is more like Briar's best friend, and I understand why people think it's a sibling kind of relationship, because, she was taken in by Temptress, and, a lot of people think that, or I would assume a lot of people think that Temptress was sort of like the mother figure, which she was, but it was in a different way. It wasn't like Avery knew that was her mom and was calling Temptress mom. They took her in when she was an adolescent, and she knew that Temptress was not her mom, and that Briar was not her brother, so I would say if they took her in as a pup, it'd be a little different, but not with the situation. For sure, they are just best friends. They know they're best friends, and that's all it is. Okay, so I'll just do the main characters for this one. You can look up these signs if you want, but I just did basic research about each sign, so I don't really think these fully represent each character. It was more of something I did, for fun. So yeah, Briar is a Leo. Lloyd is a Virgo, Avery is an Aquarius, Temptress is a Libra, Rolo is a Leo, and Kano is an Aries. So yeah. So same with this question, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch Harry Potter like that. I watched it before, but that was when I was a kid. So I know what the Hogwarts houses are, but I don't know the details about each one specifically. I did basic research on each one, wasn't a lot, so here's my list. Rolo would be in Ravenclaw. I want to say Briar would be in Gryffindor. I hope I'm pronouncing these right. Please let me be pronouncing these right. At least one of these things needs to be right. Then Temptress and Lloyd would be in Hufflepuff. Yeah. If you think they would be in a different house based on what you've seen, feel free to comment below with a reason. I'd love to hear about it. Like I said, I didn't watch Harry Potter a lot, so this is just based off basic information. But it was fun!